Drake, after your long run, the crowd started chanting MVP, MVP. Next play, you throw the 39-yard touchdown pass to Kayshon. More of the same. Did you hear it? What's your reaction to it?
No, I didn't hear it. The guys were making fun of me about my slide back in the huddle on the long run. So I didn't hear it, but the fans have been awesome all season. It's been really cool to really to see the difference from last year to this year. Man, it's been a journey, and they've been through it, and they've been the fans have been through it the last couple of years. So it's just credit to them, and we did the intros today for the first time, so we didn't know how that would go. That was pretty cool. But no, the fans have been awesome. Like I said, I think the best fans in the league, and they continue to show out every week.
Foxborough Rush coming at you on a Monday after a big win in New England as the Patriots top the Cleveland Browns 32-13, the final there. Annabelle Hasselbeck, Jade McCarthy with you here. We'll hear from a bunch of guys on the team. We'll hand out some flowers and we'll get into the overreaction stuff as well because it is a football Monday. But look, I had to laugh listening to Drake Maye there, right? Like, I'm too busy listening to the guys making fun of my slide. And by the way, I got no swag now that we're doing these, introductions individually in Foxborough. Big change because we haven't seen that in decades, AB. And I love it. He's just like, man, like, I got to get with this. Like, humble as they come, this quarterback.
Jade, it cracks me up that he's saying he's got no swag because of the performances that he's been having. It's like, man, like, what more can you do? Yeah, you might not have, like, the post-game outfits that Stefon Diggs is coming out with, but I think swag can carry over into different aspects of your game as a football player. But, yeah, just the player intros for the Patriots to start doing that this season, it is funny to hear them say how disorganized they really were and how, I think it was Kayshon Boutte said, I never really done it before. I just thought I should just run out. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, we're going to talk about the evolution of this Patriots team and how they can sustain the success that they've been having. But I'm interested to see what guys come out with maybe a dance move or a signature run out of the intro in the beginning of the pregame, what they come up with.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be must-see viewing. And it was funny. I was sitting there yesterday going, oh, whoa, wait, what are we doing here? Like, I don't ever remember seeing this in Foxborough. But look, Mike Vrabel decided to shake it up a little bit, maybe get things going a little bit sooner, get a little individual accolade for some of these guys who are really off to an extremely strong start. Fifth straight win for the Patriots. Obviously, this was the most dominant defense that they've seen throughout the course of the season here, and Myles Garrett proved the player that he is, and we'll get into that a little bit. But look, first of all, let's just hear from some of these guys on the performance that they had, because really it was both sides of the ball, right? We really saw defense stand strong, especially coming out of that second half. And same with the offense. They were just like on all cylinders as things got going there. In the early going, it was a guy that you and I have talked a lot about, AB, in Travion Henderson, who had his biggest day so far as a Patriot. Let's hear from the rookie running back. Okay, we'll hear from Travion coming up in just a bit. But first, let's hear from Mike Vrabel, and he's talking a little bit about this Patriots defense here.
I think we settle in. I think we get some stops. I don't think we given up a ton of X plays in that regard. After the first drive, and whether that was a missed tackle or, they got us and over aggressive and slipped the guy out of the backfield, but I think they play and they compete for 60 minutes. This isn't a 1 or 2 possession game. There's 10 or 12 at least possessions in a football game. So we got to continue to work on the things and enhance the things that we've done well and improve on the things that haven't been so well, which is the early game. The opening script, getting off the field on third down, which we had them in third and long and weren't able to. So, but creating third and long opportunities and then continue to get stops.
It's a little bit of all of it, right? I think what Vrabel's stressing there is that this is not a one play game, right? So even though you don't get off on 3rd and long, as the Patriots struggled a couple times in the early going of this game, you're still forcing 3rd and long. So there are some positives happening even in the early going here, AB, that yeah, that's great. Like, okay, so let's make sure that we do highlight that and acknowledge that, and then find the way to be able to make those stops in the early going on those 3rd and longs, as opposed to, having the Browns be able to convert and keep that drive going and march down the field in the opening drive anyway. But look, I mean, this is a Patriots defense that got progressively better throughout the game. And if nothing else, that's a positive.
Oh, for sure. And that's what we're seeing this whole season, right? Is that opening drive is what a lot of people are focusing on and talking about. And it's honestly, to me, I'm like, great. If that's what we're gonna lean on, is that, opening drive of all these games, we can handle that. And you saw Mike Vrabel not really have a crazy stress level over it at the podium. Obviously, it's something he cares about and knows they need to improve on. But even going back a few weeks ago, what he said about it is like, hey, if we're able to figure it out and then really shut down these offenses later in the game, like, I'll take it, right? And so I think that's what you're seeing. And even just looking at the third quarter, like 2 interceptions pretty much back to back. I mean, that's a defense really carrying your offense and showing what they can do the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that second half, and we'll do that coming up a little bit later in the show. But I think it's one of those things that it was a defense that kept going, here you go, we're going to give you the ball back. And the offense would go, thanks, and march down the field and score. So you can't play better complementary football than that, right? Than what we saw from the Patriots in the second half of this game. Again, like, I think it's just so significant to undermine the role that Christian Gonzalez plays in this defense. And we can pull up some of his stats from this game. Again, like, you're not talking about the best offense in football here when it comes to the Cleveland Browns. We all know the struggles that they've had. But still, for Gonzo to go out there, and do what he did. And you can see it right there on your screen. If you're listening, 4 targets, 1 catch allowed, 2 yards allowed, 3 pass breakups, a tackle for a loss, 3 total tackles. That is a winning defensive day for Christian Gonzalez. And of course, he was not alone in this one, because you mentioned the 2 picks, obviously, in the second half. Let's hear a little bit from Robert Spillane and what he saw from this defense coming out of halftime.
Yeah, we came in at halftime, and we look at the game as 0-0. We got to go out and win the second half. That's been one of our key goals since OTAs that we've talked about. Win the second half. And I'm just really proud of how we came out, how we gave up that early touchdown, and then we locked in, and we really played great team defense.
Robert, over far right. Can you just take us through the interception? And did you recognize that play from earlier in the game? It seemed like a similar play that they called.
It was a 3rd down. We were blitzing. I was covering the back. He picked up in protection, so that kind of lets me roam, be a free, read the quarterback player. I'm looking for anything from the field coming back shallow. Nothing came back shallow, so I was able to make a play on the ball. And our rush did a great job getting home, give me the opportunity to make a play.
Well, the opportunity came, and he did just that. This is a defense that is not allowing, yards on the ground. The rushing game against the New England defense is pretty much non-existent, which is huge for so many reasons, AB, right? I mean, it comes to, time of possession is a huge thing. Even in that first half, the Patriots' time of possession, it was so skewed because outside of that first drive, the Browns really couldn't get anything going. And they have Judkins, who has done well his rookie season. And to be able to shut that down, it makes an offense much more one-dimensional. And I think is a huge component of where this Patriots team has the ability to go if they continue to play this way.
It's extremely impressive, Jade. And after the game, Milton Williams even was asked about it. I think the stat line, that was just that they haven't allowed a running back to gain over 50 yards in a game. And that's actually the first time in Patriots team history they've done that. And he was like, yeah, didn't even know that, but there's still more that we can do. And so it's really cool not only just to see that stat, but also to know that your defense isn't even really recognizing maybe the run defense success that they're having. And I think even mentioning a little bit more about what Splain was talking about in just the success that he's had, Hawkins and his interception, Marcus Jones and his ability in the secondary, it's coming from the guys up front in the trenches. And that's where you're seeing the other guys on defense being able to attribute the success to. Like, hey, they're making our job easier in the back.
Yeah. Defensive tackle Christian Barmore did not start this game. Mike Vrabel, saying after I had to make a decision and do what I had to do. But, I think the thing is that he's asked about it. He acknowledges it. He doesn't dwell on any of that. And I think that we've seen that throughout the course of the season, right? Like we've seen it the way he's backed up Travion Henderson in terms of where he is in his evolution as a rookie this season. We've seen him back up Ramondre Stevenson and talk about the fact that, yeah, we need this guy. I think we've seen that throughout the course of the season. And it's, look, this is what I expect you to do. This is where I expect you to be. You're going to do things this way. And this is where you stand with me. And that no gray area has a huge impact on a football team overall because they're all on the same page. And they're all able to operate with that knowledge together. And that is the foundation of being able to build a significant franchise that's always in the mix in this league, right? Something that we were used to for a really long time in New England. And quite honestly, you're seeing the development of it once again.
Yeah, and I think a lot of fans, even just watching some post-game interviews from fans out in Patriot Place, are feeling that. They're like, the Pats are back. We're cooking. Somebody even said, I wrote it down because it was so funny. He's like, it's almost like Brady is here, but he's younger, and his name is Drake Maye. Like, Patriots fans can feel that, and you're getting a very clear-cut tone in message from your head coach and Mike Vrabel, and it's probably why we did get a pretty blunt explanation, in a vague way of Barmore not playing, right, to start the game. And so, it was definitely interesting because sometimes you think, oh, maybe they'd say, hey, we're going to keep that in-house. That's an internal conversation. But like you're saying, like there is no gray area with this coach. You're going to know exactly what is going on, whether you're a fan or you're a starter on this team.
Yeah, and I think most players would tell you they appreciate that, right? Because they do know exactly where they stand. But they're also not relegated to the doghouse, right? Like they have the ability to come back and say, okay, like I can perform at this level and I'm going to show you that I can do it. And if you in fact show this coaching staff that, then they're going to find a way to use you again. And we have seen that over the course of the early going. And I think that is hugely significant. And it's why most players like playing for Mike Vrabel and people that coach in that way. All right, let's get a little bit into the running game and what Travion Henderson did to start this game. I believe we have him now. So let's take a listen to the rookie running back for the Patriots.
Honestly, I come to practice each and every day, and I'm just focused on being consistent, being the best that I can be, and however it goes, come game time, whether I get little opportunities, whether I get much, you never know, in the league, and so the biggest thing each and every week, I'm just going to continue to come prepared as hard as I can, and just, we'll see.
Did you feel more comfortable out there today?
I've definitely been getting more comfortable as the season evolved. Getting more reps, getting more opportunities, different looks, going up against different players.
Look, I mean, it's his rookie year, so comfort is a thing that you're seeking, right? I mean, it's not just going to inherently be there. And it seems like a silly comparison, but it was like the guys running out of the tunnel with their names announced yesterday, right? Like it feels a little weird. It's new. It's different. That's what it's like to be a rookie in the league, right? Like it feels new. It's different. And we have heard the coaching staff say, look, Travion's coming along. He's coming along. He's coming along. And I have sat here and said, they will insert him and we will see him do more when he can do the other things that he needs to do to be part of this offense. This isn't just being able to take the ball, out of the backfield and run. That's not all this is about. But the good thing is that we saw him have his longest run of the season, right? We saw him have 10 carries for 75 yards overall on the day. So those things are starting to develop, and we're starting to see the coaching staff maybe have more trust in him, and Travion have more comfort to be able to go out there and do what he needs to do, AB. What did you make of seeing him have the day that he did?
Yeah, well, I think regardless of whether he had his best game or his absolute worst game, you're going to get the same response from him post-game. Just humble, mature, very much like even keel. Excited, though, like hopeful, too, about the future for this team. But it's so cool to just hear him post-game and see how he really is taking in what is a hard job as a rookie who's going to be used. And you look at that running back room, right? There's been a lot of discussion throughout this season and pressure on their performance, their ability to protect the ball, their ability to protect Drake Maye, the responsibility they have to be the identity of this offense and to allow the offense to be dangerous in the pass game and in the run game. And Travion Henderson, just the high expectations that you have on him. But I think if anything that I took from this game, it's probably the best game that we've seen, a glimpse of what we've seen from him in the preseason and his time at Ohio State. You saw him get into space. You saw him make some of those moves. He probably could have had that touchdown and should have had that touchdown if it didn't end up being a fumble. So great game for him, and excited to really see how the Patriots can continue to use him and obviously allow him to get more comfortable, like you said.
Yeah, and look, I mean, this was a game, once again, that you saw Drake Maye spread the ball around. They were able to get the run game going a little bit earlier. It started to open things up down the field for Drake Maye. He is so good on the long ball. You just, you really can't overstate that. And I also think, like, you just can't overstate how he played against this Cleveland defense. I mean, this is the best defensive front in the National Football League. You're going up against the game wrecker. I mean, Myles Garrett very well may be the best defensive player in football. Like, he is that good. And he showed it yesterday, right? I mean, he went out there and he had 5 sacks on his own, set a franchise record for the Cleveland Browns. 5 sacks. And despite that, despite the fact that he was getting taken down throughout the course of the day, Drake Maye finishes with 282, 3 touchdowns, perfect passer rating in the second half. I mean, come on. I understand he can't hear the MVP chants and he's not even going to acknowledge them because that's not the guy who he is. It's just not the human that he is. But what he is doing out there, I mean, it deserves a lot of credit and it deserves to be paid attention to. And it is, I think, starting to set off a couple alarms around the National Football League that this Patriots team, they might have a cupcake schedule, but to go out there and do what they did against this Browns defense, you can't ignore it.
No, you can't. And Drake Maye is going to start hearing the MVP chants, like you said, because they're going to be so loud. I mean, even his teammates post-game are talking about it, right? And people are following up like, well, describe. They're like, well, what do we need to describe? Like, it's basically right there for you all to see. Like, Kayshon Boutte was asked about it. I think Pop Douglas was asked. They were like, yeah, like, what else? Like, they kind of hesitated because they didn't have much more to say. And I think when you think back to preseason and the beginning of this season, the questions were like, okay, what are we going to see with this coaching staff? How is Drake Maye going to be? What does this wide receiver room look like? I remember that being a full segment on Foxborough Rush here almost every single week. Now the question is, those are all answered for the Patriots. The question is, how do we sustain this awesomeness? Literally, how do we keep this up? It's almost like a shocking ability to just even ask that question is, how do we sustain this type of success?
Yeah, agreed. And the best part is that I think you have a leadership in Foxborough that is kind of like, look, I mean, we're just we're just going to continue on here. Like, here's where we are. And it's easier to coach after a win and coach them hard after a win. And you know that Mike Vrabel and his team are going to do just that coming out of this one and, get this team ready for maybe the biggest puzzle in the league, that is the Atlanta Falcons, who come in next weekend, because they are an enigma. I don't know how else to put it. But you mentioned Kayshon Boutte and his day, and obviously we've seen a lot of connection between him and Drake throughout the early going this season. Let's hear a little bit from the Patriots wideout.
I think, the team only going to be as good as the receivers and the quarterback work. We're not going to sit here and run the ball 50 times a game. You got to balance the offense out. So I think what's important just being there when he need me. So.
It was that moment where touchdown, throw the ball in the end zone, Drake's getting the MVP chant, the whole place is going crazy. Did you see that as a special moment in the game, or any other moment that, wow, it's really gelling here? Any one moment that stands out, or is that it?
I think we've been on the road the past month, so I think it feels good to be back at home too, scoring a touchdown, like you said, throwing the ball, then the MVP chance. I was joking with him last week about MVP too. He don't like to hear it, but I think it's the truth, but I think just we got to keep it going, halfway through the season, we just honestly getting started, so.
That's the mentality, right? Like, this is where we are, and we just gotta keep going, keep cruising, and maybe we'll rib our quarterback for it a little bit, AB, in a positive way. But this is where we are, and we're just going to keep cruising. We're going to do the same thing here on Foxborough Rush. We got much more to get to. We got some flowers to hand out. We'll do that on the other side. We got some overreactions that we have to respond to as well. Stick around. We got much more straight ahead as we continue on a Victory Monday here in New England, right? Yet another win for the New England Patriots. Woo! Welcome back into Foxborough Rush on a Monday after the Patriots topped the Cleveland Browns to win their 5th straight game. And, of course, now they're sitting there at 6-2. The Bills get the win yesterday, but the Patriots still in the top spot in the AFC East. The Indianapolis Colts, of course, went on to win again, and they own the best record in the National Football League. It's time to hand out some flowers, though, and give some kudos that are well-deserved after this victory in Foxborough, AB. Where do you want to start us off here?
I think I'll start with the offense. We talked a lot about the defense in the last segment, but for me, it definitely was the offense and just the explosive plays. Like, it is fun to watch this Patriots team. It is really just enjoyable and exciting. And I think for me, what's also fun is that it's not just one guy, right? You get the big name Steph Diggs coming into the season, but like, it's been Boutte, it's been Hollins, it was Pop, Hooper, all like happy National Tight End Day to the tight ends on the New England Patriots for that. But like, even just like, I even wrote down, it was like Austin Hooper, 31-yard catch. Matt Collins, multiple big plays. Pop Douglas, 44-yard catch. Boutte, 39 touchdown. Like, Ramondre could have had that one deep down the field. Like, would have been an absolute absurd play. He was out of bounds, but like, that's your running back. So just really exciting, I think, to watch the explosive offensive plays and just the absolute beautiful throws that Drake Maye is making in the pocket under pressure against a really good Browns defense. I think for me, like, it was just fun to watch. And each week, you don't know who the guy is going to be for the offense. And I think as a fan, that's exciting. But also for defenses to have to prepare for that, it's very dangerous.
Yeah, it's very difficult, right? Because you don't know who it's going to be. And I think, like a couple moments, and you really outlined a lot of them. But again, like, Steph Diggs getting in there in the end zone for his first touchdown as a Patriot. And he was funny, right? Like, the play before, after the fact, he was sitting there and he was like, with the line in front of him, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't get over it. It was really funny. It was a funny moment. But, but then, of course, he gets across the goal line for his first touchdown. And Mike Vrabel talked a little bit about that, right? Like, what Diggs has meant to this team and what that means for him to get his first touchdown as a New England Patriot.
Really enjoy being around him every day. There's energy, communication, his willingness to learn and play and figure out what it is that we need from him each and every week. there's been an energy. He's practiced when we needed him to practice, and we're going to have to start taking care of some of these veteran guys, and whether that's him or Morgan or Hunter and a lot of these other guys as we move on towards the season. But highly competitive. He's vocal. He cares. He's a great teammate. He's been really good for that position and some of the younger guys' development. So I'm happy to be able to get him in the end zone. It was long overdue.
There's a lot to unpack, like listening to Mike Vrabel there, right? I mean, one, I think we knew he wanted Diggs to be here. He saw him as a leader of this team, and that's exactly what Steph Diggs has been. And I think when you have a younger group in that receiver room, the way the Patriots do, you need a veteran leader. You need a guy who's been around the block. You need a guy to be like, you know what? Like, I have learned this through living it, right? And that's exactly what Diggs has done. And you heard Vrabel, like, he's practiced when we need him to practice. Like, he's super attentive. He's hungry. He's competitive. He's all of those things. And all the young guys look for that, right? And they see that in him. I thought it was noteworthy that he was like, we're going to have to start taking care of some of these older guys as we move on in the season, right? Because they got to be smart about it, because you want to make sure that they're out there and they can stay healthy and continue to compete. Because we all know when you lose one player, look, it's 100% injury league, right? Like, by the end of the season, everyone's dealing with something. But if you lose someone for a longer period of time, it makes a very big difference. So they want to make sure that they have Diggs out there and, Hunter Henry out there, all the different things that benefit this team. I would say, like, in terms of where I'm going with my first flowers in this one, just Josh McDaniels, right? Like, the game that he called, knowing the defensive front that Cleveland was going to bring in, and the pressure that we saw Cleveland get throughout the course of the day, and still to be able to open up for those explosive plays, AB, that you pointed out, to be able to get a little bit of that run game going in the early with Travion Henderson. I just think that Josh McDaniels has done wonders for Drake Maye. And they clearly are working in sync and really well together. And he deserves some credit for that, right? I mean, we've seen him be such a successful offensive coordinator in this league for decades now. And he is doing it once again, with a young quarterback in New England, which is, it's home for him. And he's been very blunt about saying that. But I do think that he deserves some credit in this one, just in terms of what he is setting up and calling, and then the team is executing.
Oh, he gets, like, the best bouquet you see at the grocery store on this Victory Monday. Like, whatever the best bouquet is, Josh McDaniels gets that bouquet of flowers, because that's really what it was. And I think, too, you're seeing just, like, an unbelievably awesome, so far, pair between him and Drake Maye. Drake Maye even saying after the game, like, he was put on this earth to be a play caller. Like, that's a really nice compliment. Okay, that's like your purpose and your calling in this life. And even just saying, like, it's I have fun hearing him throughout the game. Like, you're seeing a quarterback who is enjoying his craft in plays that are, I mean, the pass back play, like, that was awesome. It's fun. It's exciting. Yeah. So I'm right there with you. Give him all the flowers. Just don't even give him the best bouquet. Give him, like, just the whole set for that day. I don't know how long they last. Is it like a everyday new fresh ones? But, like, just give him all of them.
Is there a garden? Can we gift a garden?
Garden.
Right?
Give him the garden.
All right. Where are you going with some more flowers to hand out after the big win?
Yeah, I'll go just on the defense, just the catch by Hawkins. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah. That interception
was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. I mean, it had to be, like, yeah, it's a great interception, but, like, the catch itself, right? Absolutely absurd. He had a hand in his face. Like, he was in the sun for most of the run. It was just an unbelievably talented play. And I even saw people, throwing up other plays like that he had throughout his time in college. So it's definitely not new to him in his own career. But I thought what was funny is there were a lot of guys on defense who were asked about the catch and the play after the game. Like, I actually didn't see it. Like, I just, heard, okay, interception, great. Like, they actually didn't even see the play. They just kind of were like, oh, yeah, like, that happened. So when they go back and they see that on social media, on film, they're going to be definitely giving him some praises. But, I mean, just coming off of not having played the last 2 games, what a welcome back. And just to add on to the success that the defense was really having in that third quarter.
Yeah, I thought it was phenomenal. I mean, it was funny because even, getting back from the game and then watching Red Zone, count down the top plays. And I was sitting there with my son and it was on it, but we were like, I think it should have been up higher. Like, really? Like, it was better than that. It was better than that. I mean, it was a ridiculous interception. So yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I think I would go to the way the Patriots came out of halftime. I would give flowers really to both sides of the ball because the offense obviously went out and scored, on 3 straight possessions. Drake Maye did not have an incomplete pass in the second half of this game, which was just phenomenal. And that goes to everybody, on the offensive side of the ball. And for the defense, obviously, to go out there and play the way they did coming out of halftime, with the interception, the other interception from Spillane. I mean, it was just, they came out and they played lights out in the second half. And so to come out of halftime that way, and we heard Robert Spillane talk about, this is something that we've been focusing on, right? Like coming out and playing strong and being that way out of the half. But to go and execute what you have talked about since training camp, the way in which they did, I mean, hats off. Like, I don't know, what are we doing? Like sunflowers, roses? I don't know, whatever you like today. But they deserve all of them.
Yeah, they really do.
In terms of like the needs improvement, as I like to call it, I got to go to Myles Garrett, right? I mean, because he went off in this game. There's no other way to put it. And, like I said, franchise record 5 sacks for him. Needless to say, he was a bit dejected, subdued maybe, after the game. Let's hear from Garrett here.
It doesn't get any easier. Each week you ask me, so.
How do you feel about your performance now? Does the loss diminish how you feel about your performance today at all, I guess?
I would throw the whole performance away for a win.
Yeah. I mean, look, he wreaked havoc in this game. There's no other way to put it. But the Patriots obviously found their way to decisively win. This wasn't even a close game. And Garrett's responding to, like, how do you feel overall? And I think the thing that's tough is, as I said, he may be the best defensive player in football. There's no question he's the best player on this Browns team. It's great to have that defense, but if you can't put up any points, you're never going to be able to win football games. And they're sitting there with 1 win on the season, and I think he's in a tough spot, right? I mean, he just took the money, AB. Right? Like, he's getting $40 million a year. He decided he was going to stay in Cleveland. I don't know, and I don't think there's any way that they would move him. I don't even know if he would be willing to go. But the reality is that you're a long way from being able to contend for championships when you are what the Cleveland Browns are right now.
Jade, I get a similar sentiment of the talent that Joe Burrow has and their inability to protect him on that offensive line and just the unfortunate events that have happened with him in his career. And just hearing Myles Garrett talk after the game, if I'm his teammate and I'm listening to that, like, your guy just had a career game. He's breaking records. He's having games that are absolutely absurd for defenders and coming after, an incredibly talented quarterback in Drake Maye. And for you to see your teammates say, I would give my performance, my incredible individual performance away for a win. It just shows you his humility, number one, in the situation. But you can also see the frustration on the sideline, on the bench, just with how that team is performing. But I think just to give him some flowers in a way, like 3 sacks in the first half, absolutely incredible just in that performance. But yeah, I mean, unfortunate because that shows you what the Patriots have to step up and do and to protect their quarterback, Drake Maye. Thankfully, he was able to escape healthy. Having been sacked, I think Myles Garrett had 5 of the 6 sacks. Like, that's way too many regardless, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, he just jumps around. Like, he goes up against anyone, and you don't know where he's going to be. And that's the way this Browns defensive front plays. So you can't even, like, say, like, oh my gosh, like, Will Campbell, this is on you. No, like, this was on the Patriots offensive line overall. They're going to have to become more stout. They're a young unit, and we've said that throughout the course, of the, like, preseason and training camp and all of that. But this gives them, I think, an idea of, wow, like if you're up against one of the very best to play the position, here's the needs improvement right here. Like, we can put on this film and see what we need to do better. But again, I mean, this is a guy who just passed Reggie White. Like, the Hall of Famer, Reggie White, one of the best ever to play the position, and he just passed him with more sacks before the age of 30 than Reggie White had. So, look, Myles Garrett will continue to wreak havoc in this league, but not so happily, just, because of the fact that he wants to go win some football games. And that's what the New England Patriots are doing, and it's not what the Cleveland Browns are doing. All right, we got more to get to. As I said, we got some overreactions coming your way. Plus, there's another game tonight. This other team in the AFC that seems to be getting rolling, usually gets rolling. Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs, they're on tonight. We'll talk about that as we continue right here on your Monday on Foxborough Rush. Foxborough Rush on a Monday, and it is always an overreaction Monday during the NFL season. So let's just get right to it, AB. Dive into some of these fun-filled topics that we get thrown our way on a Monday morning. Starting with this one, the Chicago Bears regret drafting Caleb Williams over Drake Maye. Overreaction?
Listen, it's hard coming off a game when all of Gillette Stadium is chanting MVP, MVP to Drake Maye. I mean, you're looking at that quarterback class too, right? Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, Drake Maye, all guys who are having some serious success in this league. And it's still early for Caleb Williams, right? So you never want to count a talented player like him out this early. But yeah, when you're comparing him to Drake Maye, a guy that we're literally putting in the MVP conversation, it's really difficult not to at least lean that way.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I would say that we have seen Caleb Williams make some significant strides with Ben Johnson there in Chicago now. And I would just put it this way, like, if you needed a quarterback, man, that 2024 draft class, it was sweet. Like, you don't know what Caleb Williams is going to be yet. Jaden Daniels, he's obviously struggled with health this season and continues to, because he won't play in the Monday night game tonight against the Kansas City Chiefs. But anytime that kid is on the field, he can do some amazing things. Drake Maye is showing the exact same thing. Bo Nix, I mean, come on. Like, we heard Sean Payton singing his praises, going into the season. And there's a lot of people singing his praises in Denver right now. So if you needed a quarterback, everybody out there whose team needs a quarterback now is like, man, can we get a draft class like 2024, please? Please?
Or can we be like the New England Patriots and have a quarterback like Drake Maye, Tom Brady? Like, people are probably like, really? The Patriots are just so spoiled. And you know what? Yeah. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm on Foxborough Rush because I would not want to be on the other side of it. So I don't feel bad.
Yeah, no. We will soak it in gladly. We will take it. Like, yes, we had Brady for all those years, and now we have Drake Maye. Thank you very much. We are grateful for it, and we will embrace it. All right, let's head back to go back in time a little bit and talk about the coach who was here for so many of those Tom Brady years, Bill Belichick. Has he destroyed his Hall of Fame legacy with everything that has happened over recent years? AB, is that an overreaction?
This conversation has got a lot of momentum for sure, just based off of the problems that he's been having at UNC. But no, nothing will ever take away from his championships, from all of his Super Bowl rings. Like, this is one of the best coaches, arguably, of all time. So nothing will take that away. And I even think like college and the pro is a very different game. And so regardless of how it goes for him at UNC, he'll always be able to hang his hat on that. And you saw Nick Saban didn't have the NFL success that he had in college. And he even said, hey, listen, like, give Bill Belichick time to get his own guys in there. I think the one concern, if any, is it's not oozing sunshines and rainbows from that locker room and the culture and the program that he's building at UNC. And when you think about just even college, like, being a leader of young men is definitely a massive factor. So nothing will ever take away from the great Bill Belichick here in Boston, and he'll always have a place, and probably soon a statue outside Patriot Place right next to Tom Brady, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he should, and he deserves that statue. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And college football, man, it is like the Wild West right now. So, his choice, obviously, to go get in that mix, and we'll see what it leads to. But it has not been sunshine and rainbows to start. Also has not been sunshine and rainbows for the New York Jets in Aaron Glenn's tenure there. But the Jets get a win. The Jets get a win in improbable fashion against the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday. Justin Fields turned the Jets season around after earning their first victory of the season. Overreaction?
You know, I think we should all be doing Aaron Glenn's little dance move on the sideline for him to celebrate this. Like, that was an awesome moment. And unfortunately, he hasn't really been able to relive it at all. But, like, good for Justin Fields. Like, how about your owner publicly roasting you in a very immature way, and him just rising above that, and not only on the field and having really a standout game for his team and leading them to victory, barely, but leading them to victory. Like, his vulnerability at the podium was unbelievably impressive, and I think it's a great example for all players at any level, just with, I'm going to take the hard. I'm going to acknowledge that there are difficulties in the pro space and in being a starting quarterback that I'm going to face of a losing team, but really just the strength that he had in relying on the people that surrounded him. So really happy for him based off of just the storyline that we've been watching and seeing unfold. So will they be able to turn the season fully around? I don't know. I think it's one win too young to know that right now, but definitely a different vibe has got to be in that locker room.
Yeah, I mean, I give him all the credit in the world for all the reasons that you just listed. And I mean, he might not have even started that game if it weren't for an injury. And yet, you know, he goes out there and I mean, and it was just like, we're coming back, we're coming back, we're coming back, we're coming back, like over and over and over again. And for the Jets to get that win, I thought was hugely significant. And I thought he was hugely significant in his part in it. In terms of if it turns the season around, I was looking up the Jets schedule here just so I can mention it. They get the Browns next, so that should be a barn burner. And then they get the Patriots, of course, the Ravens, who, you know, you get Lamar back. What's that going to look like? Then you have the Falcons. Then they have Miami, who obviously had the big win, the Jags, Saints, the Patriots again, and the Bills. So I think it might be an overreaction to say it turned the season around, you know, like you said, one win too young. But the reality is I do think that it had a substantial difference maker on the season because all of a sudden at least you have one win and you have some optimism to build off of, and maybe you have the beginning of some belief inside that locker room. Dak Prescott is not a big game quarterback. Overreaction?
I think it's an overreaction. This is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Has he had postseason success? No, right? And so I think that's something to look at for sure. It is funny to me how much hype the Cowboys always get, and yet they're not in the postseason conversation. I'm actually more interested in the DCC, the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, for the last couple years, just with their documentary. You're like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, they're executing, right? But, they have had just an up and down season in a way, too. You see some moments you're like, how is this not the best offense in the league, like by far, right? But then you have other moments where you're like, all right, this is the Cowboys that we know. So I think it's probably an overreaction, but definitely not a team that has shown you that they're able to take it to the next level yet.
Yeah, no, and look, that Denver defense is obviously one to contend with, but the Dallas defense, it's like, oh my gosh, at some point you have to have a defense that's going to be able to help your offense, and Dallas just doesn't have that.
If only they had like an awesome pass rusher, a generational talent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, that would be really, really helpful. But
Couldn't
history
find
is
one.
history.
They can't find it.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, they had one. Yeah. Okay. Lamar Jackson will come back and lead the Ravens to the playoffs. Overreaction?
Jade, I love watching the Ravens offense play with Lamar Jackson, and their start to the season was such a disappointment because it just was, no one expected it. So truthfully, just selfishly, like, I want him to come back and be able to lead this team. And they had a really dominant win on Sunday, but you never know, right? Like, we'll see how it goes. He had a great vibe on the sideline, and I think that team is feeling good, and it's always a good sign to be able to see your offense produce when your starter is out, right? You know that you're not lacking in every other department. But I was bummed to see the start that they had this season. So, yeah, I hope he's able to turn it around for them and lead them.
Yeah. Look, I think when you have Lamar on the field, you cannot count the Ravens out, right? That's just the reality. They obviously have a game this Thursday night against the Miami Dolphins, who looked a lot better, this past weekend. So if they could get that, essentially you get a mini bye, after that game. And then you get the Vikings, the Browns, the Jets, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Bengals again. That starts to feel like it could be a run, for the Baltimore Ravens to stack the wins that they need. So, yeah, I'll take it. I'll say that he'll come back and lead them into the postseason. We got to get a quick break in. We'll talk a little bit about that Monday night game on the other side, right here on Foxborough Rush. Foxborough Rush coming back at you, and it is the Commanders on the road in Kansas City Arrowhead Stadium against the Chiefs tonight. One game. One game. I always like when it's one game on a Monday night. Look, this Kansas City Chiefs team, to me, AB, you look at what they've done over the last few weeks, and it's kind of like oh, look out. We were all talking, three-peat last year, and I feel like we're working our way towards, could they make their fourth straight Super Bowl, because they just look like they're clicking on all cylinders. They've averaged over 31 points per game in their last 4 games, and all of a sudden it's like there's just all these options for Patrick Mahomes. So look out. I don't see how the Washington Commanders go in there, even with the veteran backup in Marcus Mariota, and find a way to hang enough points on a tough Chiefs defense, with the offense firing the way it is right now.
Jade, I think I'm looking at this from a bird's eye view. The Chiefs really like these cinematic moments. They had their Kingdom movie come out. They had that Hallmark movie that was a spoof off the Kingdom. You got just the whole Travis and Taylor, entertainment vibe going. They started this season off shocking the world, and I think it might have been on purpose, because that's not the Chiefs that we're seeing now. If anything, it's got to be part of what they're doing here. Freak everybody out for a second, make them start talking about, will they still be in the Super Bowl? this is 100% still a Super Bowl contending team. They might not be leading the division or dominating in the conference right now, but yeah, like you said, their offensive weapons, especially that Patrick Mahomes now has back. I find it hard to see this Commanders team getting a win at Arrowhead without Jaden Daniels. And I'm kind of bummed too. Like, you want to see that quarterback matchup. So we'll see what the Washington Commanders are able to do. But it just feels cinematic to me. And at this point, we kind of already know how the movie's probably going to go.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. They are a team that's just like, we want our big moment, and they are finding it at this point in time. It's all just sort of in stride, and Arrowhead is always a tough place to play. It's basically what the Chiefs have there is what the Patriots are trying to bring back to Gillette, right? Have it be a place that teams are like, all right, we got to get ready. We got to go take them on. It is truly a home field advantage, and that's what Arrowhead has long since been for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's what Gillette was for a long time for the Patriots, and they're looking to find a way to bring that back and make that part of who they are as a franchise once again. They took a good step towards it yesterday, with the way that they dominated the Cleveland Browns.
They really did. And Gillette is a place that they want to make that amazing home field advantage. I was a Colts fan back in the day when my dad was playing there. I remember going to Gillette for the first time. These fans don't sit down. I'm at Lucas Oil in Indiana chilling in the back. So they're trying to get back to that type of Gillette Stadium where no one sits down, even in the nosebleeds where I was.
There you go. On your feet, yelling the whole time. That's going to do it for us. Enjoy the football tonight. We'll see you soon.